project S6. So just got rid of my 93 URS4 20 valve turbo in emerald green. So naturally I found an emerald green S6 that is in dire need of help. Got this one quite cheap. I actually saw it getting towed away at a gas station, got the owner's number, and made a deal from there, because honestly the body is a lot cleaner than my old car. But I'll show you why it was cheap. First we'll go over the paint's got some cracking everywhere, kind of like all these do. Original paint, URS4 wheels, and I actually have a set of S6 wheels around. Gaps are all pretty damn good. Really dirty. This door, you can see paint cracking and a little rust spot because someone got a chip and never touched it up, but get you guys some light. Pretty straight body. Missing a little trim piece right here, but it's pretty rust free, besides that one little surface spot on the passenger door. Come around back here. That's right, temporary plates. Those are not mine. Absolutely coated in crap on the trunk lid, roof. Bring it around to this side. Just disgusting. Show you up here. There's no shine left here. This was with about 10 seconds of cleaning. Super lightly with some degreaser. And I paid $1,400 for this. It was a one-owner car. It has temporary plates because someone bought it from the first owner, had it for about 3 days. Got a radio installed, and it set on fire. So I'll show you the damage. Rear seat's gone. Had a battery fire because whoever installed the radio forgot there's supposed to be a protective plate over the positive terminal of these batteries, because the seat frame rides kind of right up in here and it's exposed metal, so it grounds the battery out and starts a fire. So as you can see, interior probably was nice, besides like sagging headliner, typical, but it is destroyed from fire extinguisher material. All that yellow, just full of junk too. Burned parts and tarry crap everywhere. So we'll do a good before and after when I get there. He took the new speakers out, but wood trim. Trim's not cracked, surprisingly. I'd rather have the carbon trim, but nasty, nasty, nasty. Look at that. Use a mask to even touch this thing. But only 120,000 miles, 1995, so I know for a fact these motors are worth more than I paid for the entire car. Probably twice as much, so we'll see, what we can bring back on this guy, but pretty rough from that damage. Just coated every single part of the interior. Haven't even taken the steering wheel cover off. I literally just got it inside on some wheel dollies, so let's go ahead and pop the hood. Cracked grill, Missing a washer cap. Pretty typical. It has underglow. I'll probably take that out. And there she is. 120,000 mile, 20 valve turbo. Still got the sticker on the core support here. It's full of clean oil, full of clean coolant. Looks like either that's some cleaning stuff or the seam on this res is cracked and seeping a little. That's not a big deal. I actually have one of those around. But it's all stock and very, very clean. You know, you don't even see rust around this area here. Usually you get some rust in there, but pretty clean. I have no idea about the timing belt, when that was last done. So that's gonna be one of the first things, and I'll show you over here. Got a few goodies. Got an RS2 manifold, Volvo S60R turbo, which needs to be fully rebuilt and set up for this car. Nice new cover plate there. 034 intake boot and a little filter. Here's the whole wiring harness to replace the battery harness that was burned up. So probably won't need the whole thing, but I got everything. Cut long lengths. Got trim pieces, and a hole under that trim is new suspension. Bilstein sport struts, lowering springs. Not crazy low, just a little bit lower. If I need engine parts, got a complete engine here for it. So, yeah, pretty clean overall. We're gonna have to see, you know, how it wants to clean up, and yeah, I think it looks like it was pretty well taken care of its whole life, to be honest with you. And I'll have to get a coil conversion, because although this looks like maybe someone's been in here and resoldered new coils, we'll pull that off and look. But I mean, geez, maybe reuse the plate, but I'm taking those original coils right out of here. Definitely has a valve cover gasket leak back in there. I don't know if you can see that. That cam half moon's seeping a little bit, nothing crazy. I think it's dripping down to my CV boot there, so hopefully that guy's intact. If not, no big deal. All stock cat, stock turbo, stock wastegate, stock exhaust manifold, clean but stock turbo. That's the intake boot by 034 I just showed you. It's got a Bosch MAF on there, so that's good. Stock airbox. Looks like a newer fuel filter. Good sign there. Injectors look like some have been replaced. I don't know, some look cleaner than others. They're not consistent across the board, so definitely be pulling those out, probably flow testing, new O-rings. So it looks pretty good. We got a Bosch throttle position sensor unit, and it looks like it has the original paint marking to calibrate it, so that's good. Not seeing any leaks besides that valve cover gasket. Back here, this guy looks a little seepy. Looks like a steering. I don't know if you guys can see that, but try to get my light. Shoot. Hold on. Down here, see that kind of soft line? Of course, it goes right out of focus. That's seeping. Looks like it's seeping from there. So we'll have to get in there and replace that guy. I know these soft lines will just start sweating after a while and give up on you. But honestly, pretty impressed with condition overall. My S4, being in 1993, was still on R12, and it didn't have a port on the condenser here. So glad to see that apparently the AC worked before this whole fire situation happened. And this is an R134A system, so Finally get some AC in one of these. Don't usually see these covers still here, so that's cool. I'll probably get rid of that eventually though when I bypass the ignition control modules behind here this whole coil setup's plugged into. Looks like a newer timing cover. Usually they have like a sticker up here that's been ripped off. So maybe that's a good thing. See if we can actually pop this real quick. Get a first look at that timing belt. I'm really like, you know, once I get this thing plugged into a battery and safe, I guess, make sure everything's fine in terms of that. It's really not gonna run before I get a timing belt on here, but you see that? Looks a little like there's some wear on there. I don't know, hard to tell. Again, I'll pull off the core support here and disconnect these two guys. Pull the whole timing cover, give it a good inspection. But you know, unless I can find solid evidence, proof, maybe I'll reach out to the first owner, see if there's an actual maintenance record for it. You know, even if that belt looks okay, I'm gonna go ahead and change it out when I do valve cover and just generally go through everything, swap that manifold, and we'll see. If there's any signs of head gasket leakage on this, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Throw in the ARP head studs right away. It's a lot easier to get that RS2 exhaust manifold on here once the head's off, and then you kind of, because you have to shorten the studs to make everything clear and be able to bolt up. So it would realistically be easier to pull off the head, do a fresh head gasket, fresh timing, fresh water pump, get that manifold bolted up, set it all on, do the valve cover gasket, probably get the cam gear here, the what's called, little like Woodruff key, I guess, likes to snap on these, and then it obviously fails and bends all your valves as if your timing belt broke. So I might address that guy. I think there's some kind of aftermarket billet crank cog or cam cog, you know, or something like that. Got some new shiny parts around here. That's nice. What do you know? Other than that, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of original vacuum lines, like that guy and that guy. And the shielding is tearing on them, but, you know, they don't actually, they still feel pretty soft and good. I'll replace them, but, you know, it's good to know. This coil unit has definitely been off. It's the ground for it. And then the tape and whatnot. Ooh, this guy looks pretty good. You don't see that usually. Still missing, or it still has our little regulator OEM setup, and you know, god dang, pretty nice, pretty peachy. Besides some fire damage. Oh my god. I'm gonna, before I touch anything, the seats need to come out of this, but obviously I can't hook up a battery to do that, and they're power seats. So I'm going to start by vacuuming everything I can and start getting rid of, like, a lot of this is old. That's for the underglow and old radio wiring, all this. Let's see if we can get you a better view, but all this junk can come out. I need gloves, Jesus. I need a mask, really. Look at this. Huh. Disgusting. Yeah, a lot of this is like the lock, I believe, the vacuum pump for the locks or something, or windows, or both, not really sure. The lines are all intact for that. It's just obviously detached, and the wiring actually looks okay on that unit. Here's your heated seat connector. I don't have the seat, but I have it. It's in my dumpster bin. The rear seat was just smoked. The frame was melted out. upholstery burned, foam burned. I'm never putting that back in. So maybe I'll show you just for fun what the underside of that seat looked like. But whew, bad day for this guy. Rear heated seats. We'll see if those work when I'm done. Gave that a quick 2-second wipe. Looking good. I don't know, guys. Despite some small paint cracks and stuff like that, looking pretty clean for what it is. So I'm happy with this. Get the light out of the way. I think it'll be a good project, and I can't really not have an emerald green URS6 in my garage apparently. So yeah, wonder if that sunroof works. Try to get you a better shot also of all that nastiness up here. A lot of this was from being sprayed by the fire extinguisher too, so hopefully that doesn't eat through paint. But before I touch any of this, I need to wet it down and get some supplies to hopefully not just scratch junk into the paint. Look, this looks like the car has been sitting outside for 30 years. And, you know, typical, these are original Hella lights, but typical hairline cracks around here. Jesus, sappy crap right there. Try to get that out. This guy's pretty rough. I don't know if you can see that cracking, but I think I have another set up in the somewhere up there. We'll see. Ooh, paint matched plate backing. I've never had that. Cool. Very cool. Thinking about also, you know, once this is running, driving, and I do everything I need to do, probably get a Euro S6 light bar for the back here. I just think that looks pretty cool. One difference between the S4 and S6 is, like, you know, this is all painted. All these bumpers are painted. Door trim is painted. As you can see, this is a different green than this. Maybe you can't see that. Pretty apparent, you know, look at the trim compared to the door. This is the same color, this trim. And then that looks more green, just like this guy. So that's a little funky, and I'm missing that guy, so maybe I'll track down some trim and paint that up, or paint all the trim all at the same time or something like that. Yeah, it's got some garbage Kenwood system, ashtray trims coming off. I'll probably replace all the trim, put a stock radio in. I like stock. Has 2 keys, but one of them's ignition, one of them's the door. So I assume the ignition switch went bad, like a lot of these do. It stays to the start position. You start burning up the starter. So instead of doing the right thing, getting a whole lock set with ignition, switch, and key, looks like they opted to just get a key and ignition switch, so now you have to carry 2 keys to actually unlock and start the car. Horrible steering wheel cover, but is what it is. Ooh, a little microphone up there. We'll see. Take that steering wheel cover off. I wonder if those S6 wheels are nice. I wonder if that thing's decent. Telescoping wheel, I've never had that. Another difference between the S6 and S4, you have a little, hard to see because it's so filthy, but right there, digital mile counter, which I kind of like the analog, and then this voltmeter right here. That replaces an oil pressure gauge on the S4, which I really like, so not sure about that. Dash is pretty solid overall. Not cracked or warped. This guy's a little funky. These vents just kind of, they like twist and sit back into place. See, it's like perfectly flush there, and then it just wants to come untwisted. So those are fixable. Like I said, missing door speakers. It just had a whole insulation stereo job done, and then a bunch of random crap in here. Ooh, toilet paper. Nice. Still has a car phone. I'll show you guys that later, but I'm not gonna touch this interior without gloves, to be honest. So yeah, let me get to it. Start vacuuming out, wiping stuff down, toss on my mask and gloves, and sort of begin to see what we're working with. All right. Woo. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see if the half interior vacuum transformation turns into a short clip, or if that's the next part of the video. Got my fire going, so I'm gonna be here for a while. All right.